'cause the music makes me high. And if I only got one more night, I'm gonna leave out loud goodbye. This gonna be the
What up, y'all? It's your boy, Mr. Von, Mr. Von's channel, Sweatbox. We back, we live, we active here on the channel, yes indeed. And we got a review, y'all. We're gonna talk about Ozark, season 3. Yes, let's talk about it. First of all, how's everybody doing? I hope everybody's still doing safe. Stay safe from this pandemic, from this, yeah, just stay safe, man. If you stay locked down, stay locked down. If you're venturing out into one of these open businesses, why would you do that? It's just a pandemic. Stay home. Anyway, enough of that. Let's talk about Ozark season 3. Okay, so when we left in season 2, the birds had just got the casino done, and Marty's wife, Helen, is it Helen? No, it's not Helen. That's the lawyer. Why do I know Marty's wife's name? I'm terrible. Wendy. Sorry about that. But Wendy had just had Ruth's father killed. That's how season 2 ended. And Marty had found out, and there was a whole lack of trust. So when season 3 starts off, there's this huge divide between Marty and Wendy. They're going to counseling, but by the way, their counselor is one of the best characters in the new season. So that's where we start off in season 3, and this is a crazy season. It spirals out of control real quick. We're introduced to a couple new characters in this season: Frank Jr., Kansas City mob boss's son, and Ben, who is Wendy's brother. And we're also introduced to Navarro, the head of the Navarro cartel. He's in a war right now with some, I can't remember the name of the other cartel. He's going through a war, and that's one of the overlying stories of the whole season, is the war between the two cartels and how that affects them in the Ozarks. So I like this season a lot, man. This show just gets better and better. Low key, this is just a really good show. Jason Bateman is such a phenomenal actor. Some of the things that really trip, I'm not gonna go story beat for this whole season because this is a spoiler review. Some of the things that really trip me out about this season. Let me start by the number one thing: Wyatt's relationship with the Snell chick. What's her name? Darlene. Yeah, man. She's so crazy. I cannot deal with her level of crazy. She's so crazy when she's having the meeting with all the other moms, and the chick says like the one slide comment. It wasn't even a slide comment. I think she just asked a question, and she slashes her tires like right in front of her. Darlene Snell is so, and so then when she first moves in on Wyatt, and I was like, okay, I can see her using Wyatt as a power play, but then they took it there. They had to take it there where she starts sleeping with him. I'm like, bro, you could have hooked up with Charlotte. It's so bad. That whole storyline was so weird. It was so weird. So with that aside, I like the fact that they expanded the role of Helen, the lawyer for the cartel lawyer. I like that they expanded that relationship. They had her move out to the Ozarks, and they kind of established a friendship between her and Wendy for a while. And then the whole story with her and with Helen's daughter and Wendy's daughter, Charlotte, becoming friends. I don't remember Helen's daughter's name, but they start hanging out. And the FBI snitch who was running with Frank Jr.'s crew, that whole storyline was crazy. It was crazy. I love the confrontation when Marty runs up on the Kansas City mob boss, who's like, "Man, you had a snitch in your crew. Clean up your house, or the next time your son's gonna get found on a bridge, hanging from a bridge in Juarez." I was like, "Ah, look at him gangster it up! Look at him gangster it up!" Okay, Marty. Marty went through it this season. He gets kidnapped by the cartel. That was a great scene when they snatch him up, and he's like, "Yo, I ain't going in the truck," and they're like, "No, you going in the truck, bro." And then Ben, who we'll talk about in a second, Ben and Ruth was chasing after him, and the truck just stops and they pull out the heater like, you better stop following us, cuz those shut. We got bangers, cuz. You know what I'm saying? It was woo. This is a great scene, man. This is just such a good show. This is such a really good show. Um, so let's talk about Ben, which was probably the main storyline. I guess you could say was the main storyline. Wendy's brother Ben gets introduced. First of all, his introduction scene was crazy. Him being the substitute teacher, him snatching up all the kids' phones and throwing them in the wood chipper, and then the dude tried to stop him. He just beats the shit out of him. I'm like, oh wow. So yeah, man, that was crazy. That was really crazy. I like that. His introduction was nice. Well, here's the thing, because if you have that was the second episode. The first episode had the crazy introduction of the cartel war, when the dude dressed disguised as I think he was like disguised as the mailman, goes in and just murders everybody and plants the bombs and all that. So you have those two intros to the two episodes, the first two episodes, and you're like, okay, this is gonna be a crazy season, because at that point you didn't know who that dude was. It was like, okay, when is this crazy dude gonna meet up with the crazy dude with the bombs? And it's like, even though they don't, but at the same time, this was just like, it was a crazy start to the season with those two episodes, and I really liked that. I was really into that. So Ben's whole storyline, I could just see it. I was like, oh, he was just so reckless, and while he was a good character, great character, I was like, by the third or fourth episode with him, I was like, he's just not gonna make it. I could already see the developments happen. He's just not gonna make it. But how it ended up coming about, when he went to see Helen and just flashed on Helen and her daughter in front of Helen's daughter, I was like, oh, you just threw your life away, buddy. That was it. I already knew. What I did, and I kind of figured out too once, because she started to really feel herself. Once Helen had told Wendy that I don't know if this friendship thing is a good idea, I knew she was going to end up getting killed. Because I knew that was going to end up being a confrontation between her and the birds. And obviously the birds aren't going to get killed, they're the main characters. Although I love how they built up the tension and everything, but yeah, I knew she was going to go. And I love how they did it. It was a great death for her. So she was a good character. While I'm not sad to see her go, I mean, it's a fitting end. So yeah. Let's talk about Ruth. Ruth's story was good this season because she really fell in love with Ben, and then they had a thing, and then she had another falling out with the birds, but this time so bad she ends up making up with Wyatt, and now Wyatt's with Darlene Snell. So now it ends up Ruth leaves the birds and ends up going back to the Snells, and it's not going back to Snells, but going to work with the Snells. So you have the Snells versus the birds, and the Snells have made new ties with the Kansas City mob because the birds cut them off after the whole thing with Ruth getting beat up. Frank Jr. beat up Ruth. I forgot about that. The whole Frank Jr. storyline, who was played by Tommy from Power, that whole storyline was good. It was short. I thought it ended up, I like how it ended up. So here's the thing. Here's my theory prediction of what's going to happen, because the birds are going to need allies, besides the fact that they got the Mexican cartel behind them. But they're going to need allies. So I feel like if Frank Jr. did survive, and they kind of made it seem like he did survive after Darlene shot him in the balls, shot his nuts off and anything. But it looked like he survived. So if he does, I feel like he's going to want to side with the birds to get even with Darlene, even if it means going against his father. And I also feel like when push comes to shove, I feel like Ruth is not going to sit there and continue to stay loyal to Darlene. She's going to realize how crazy Darlene is. We all know Darlene is psycho. So I don't think she's going to stay there with that. Yeah, just another good season with Ozark, man. What do you guys think? Are you guys ready? Did you guys think this was an inferior season than the previous seasons? What am I forgetting? I feel like I'm forgetting stuff. I know I am, but it's whatever. I like this season a lot. I hit the main points that I wanted to talk about. Oh, one thing I did want to talk about was their son. Was it Jonah? He snaps at the end of the season. I thought he was going to kill Helen for a minute. There was a minute where I was like, he's not going to do it. But then there was a minute I was like, hey, he might shoot her. But then, because I knew she was going to die, and I was like, is this where she dies? But then she ends up getting killed by Navarro himself. But Jonah now has this deep-seated hatred for his parents now because they find out that they had been killed. So, and the whole thing with Ben's death was really good. I thought that was really played well. I thought that was really played well. Shouts out to Laura Linney for being a good actress, and she's really doing her thing in this. This whole cast is great. This is a really great cast. I really like this cast a lot. They do a good job with it. So yeah. Let me know what you guys think about season 3 of Ozark. Leave your comments below. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Click those notifications, of course. Stay safe out there. And until next time, you know how we do. Peace. On, y'all.
Cause the music makes me high. If I only got one more